Hi everyone. We were discussing third unit contents. So third unit contents. What are the contents in the third unit? These are all the contents in the third unit. Okay. Here operator overloading and type conversions, inheritance. Then here operator overloading. Simply we know yesterday what is an operator. Yesterday I thought what is an operator. Then various types of operators. Then in C++, then there is a new concept is introduced that is called operator overloading. Here operator is a keyword in C++. Clear? Then the keyword overloading unary operators, how to overload the unary operators. Then how to define the operator overloading methods in our C++ language. Then how to return the operator type. Then the overloading assignment operators, then rules for overloading operators. Yesterday we discussed all these things. I remember all of you. I remember all these things. It take few minutes. Then a definition of overloading. Here overloading refers to the ability to use a single identifier to define multiple methods of a class that differ in their input and output parameters. Here overloaded methods are generally used when they conceptually execute the same task but with a slightly different set of parameters. Here there are more functions. Function names are same, but uh, sending and receiving arguments are different. That is called function overloading. Here operator overloading. So then in this operator overloading, here also some sending and receiving arguments are different, but the function name that is called operator, then operator symbol. Operator is a keyword, then operator symbol, then parameters list. That is the definition of the function. These are all the advantages of function overloading. Sorry, operator overloading. Overloading advantages. Then there are two types of function overloadings. The first one is function overloading, and second one is operator overloading. Okay, we know. Then there are two types of polymorphism. The first one is compile time polymorphism. Second one is runtime polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism means what are the under compile time polymorphism, function overloading, and operator overloading. These are the examples for compile time polymorphism. Then runtime polymorphism, virtual functions. That is an example for runtime polymorphism that is used in inheritance concept. Then very few classes we will discuss after few days. Clear? Then this is the function overloading and operator overloading. This is the function overloading definition. This is an operator overloading. A symbol that is used to perform an operation is called an operator. Yes, and all of you. Then there are huge set of symbols available in our C++ language. Clear? Those operators can be categorized into various types: arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators, bitwise operators, segment operators, ternary operators, etc. These are all the operators. It is used to perform operation on constants and variables. Clear? Constants and variables. By using operator overloading, these operations are performed on objects. It is a type of polymorphism. Clear? The keyword operator is used to define a new operation for an operator. This is the general syntax of the operator overloading function declarations. Clear? Here return type, we know in each and every function have return type by either void, int, float, char, or class type. We know already we discussed various functions. Okay, we have to define in C++. Then here operator, then operator is a keyword, operator is a keyword, then operator symbol. So here plus, minus, less than, greater than, etc. So which operation you want, you should define the symbol only. Don't write in abbreviation. Clear all of you? Then here list of arguments. This is the function operator overloading function definition declaration. Clear? This is the general syntax of the operator overloading function. Clear? Return type operator and operator symbol. Then set of statements same as usual. Clear? Then the next one, this is an example program. In this example program, okay, your class number, Then public, these two are the variables. Here number x, y, initial values are zeros. Your class number, and this is also class name number, but it is called constructor member function. Constructor member function and class name are the same. Constructor member function name and class name are the same. Clear? Here number integer A, integer B. Here number, then there are two arguments, parameterized constructor. This is called parameterized a function, a constructor function should not, the constructor function doesn't have any arguments, that is called default constructor. A constructor function have arguments, that is called parameterized arguments. Clear? Then these two are the constructor member function. First one is default constructor, second one is parameterized constructor. Remember all of you. So then this is the number operator plus this number operator plus the general syntax, return type, operator, operator symbol. Come here. Here number is a return type, which number is a return type. Which type of return value we should return? Then here number class number, we should return an object value, object of the class. Clear? Here number is a class name, that is the return type. Number is a class name, this is the return type. Here number means this is a class name, we should return the t, where t is a object. Okay, we should return an object value. Clear? Then operator is a keyword in C++. Operator is a keyword in C++. Then here operator symbol, this is plus symbol, this is plus symbol. Clear? Operator symbol. Here number d, this is also class name number, and d is an object, that is a parameter. The parameter is an object. Clear? It is not an integer, it is not a float. What is the data type of d? That is the class data type. Number is a class name. Here it received a value. Which type of value? Here object values. D is received object values. Clear? Here void show function. This is the general function. Okay, integer main function. Here number n1 of 10, 20. N1 is an object. At the object creation time, it will pass 10 and 20 to the parameterized constructor. Now a is equal to 10 and b equal to 20. X value, y value 10 and 20. N2 equal to 20, 30. Clear? N2 equal to 20, 30. Now N2 is another object of this class number. Then at the object creation time, it will pass these two arguments to the parameterized constructor function. Then x value equal to 20 and y value equal to 30. Okay, what are the values of n? N values 10 and 20, n2 values 20 and 30. N3 is another object, third object. At the object creation time, it can execute, it can call this member function, default constructor member function. Here n3 values, what are the n3 values? X value 0, y value is 0, y value is also 0. Here n3 dot x equal to n3 dot y equal to means, where n3 equal to n1, n2, then these two are the operands. So what type of operands? Class type objects. N1, n2, then there is a symbol plus operator. So then this means it can call the operator plus function. All of you remember n1 plus n2. N1 is an object, n2 is an object, but we cannot add directly. Clear? But n1 plus n2 it can call directly. So then here plus operator, it can overloads. Overloads means the plus operator calls the operator plus function. Clear? Operator plus member function. Then add two numbers, two object values, x dot n1 dot x plus n2 dot x, n1 dot y plus n2 dot y, like that. Clear? Then the n3 dot show, then return, add. So simply operator plus. So then here n1 plus n2 means, then first it can overload. Overload means it can call this operator method function. But here no need to call object dot operator plus. All of you first listen and remind. So remember, all of you, Then here n3 equal to n1 plus n2. Here plus is an operator. Then this is used to call this method. That's why this is called operator overloading. Operator overloading. It can call this method. Here no need to call object dot operator plus. Clearly, it can automatically calls. It can automatically overloads this method. Clear? That's why this is called operator overloading methods. That's why these are called operator overloading methods or functions. Clear? Then here n3 dots display all the output values. Clear all of you? Then overloading unary operators. We know types of operators. Here binary arithmetic operators, addition, subtraction like plus, minus, asterisk, slash, percentile, then etc. Okay. Then the next one, these are all binary operators, arithmetic operators. Why these are all called binary operators? So we want to apply addition operator, we should use two operands. We want to apply subtraction operator, we should maintain two operands. Here asterisk operator, we should maintain two operands. So what is the difference between binary operation and unary operation? Unary means one single operand, single operator, single operand and single operator. Here plus a, that is a positive a. Minus a is a negative. Clear? Minus a is a negative. Here plus plus and minus minus. Increment and decrement operators. Let a is equal to 0 plus plus a, where a is equal to a plus 1 means. Okay, plus plus a means where a equal to a plus 1. That is also a unary operator. Minus minus, it can decrement the value of the original value from the original value. Clear? That is the decrement operator. Then so here plus plus, minus minus, minus plus, then not, negation, etc. These are all the unary operators. Clear? Remember all of you. These are all the unary operators. If there are two operands, one operator, that is plus, those are called binary operators. Minus and plus, sometimes acting as binary, sometimes acting as unary, based on the situation. If there are two operands and one operator, that is binary. If there are one operator, one operand, that is called unary. Clear? This. A class member function will take 0 arguments for overloading unary operators. Here come here, this is constructor member function. Here show general function. Here while operator plus plus. Then this is prefix notation. Here plus plus prefix notation. Minus minus postfix notation of int. Clear? Then it can call plus plus x. We know x dot show display 4 and 10 values. Then x plus plus means where x plus plus, here plus plus is an operator. First it can call this method. Clear? It can call this method operator plus plus. Then increment the value of a and increment the value of b. Old values were 4 and 10. Here now increment the value of a. 4 plus 1 equal to 5 and 10 plus 1 equal to 11. Clear? B value is 11, a value equal to 5. Here a equal to 5 and b is equal to 11. Next one is come here. X minus minus. This is pre-increment. This is post. Then there is no difference here. Pre or post. Clear? Pre or post. Then there is no difference in this example. Then here x minus minus. Then it can call minus minus into. Then a minus minus, b minus minus. 5 minus 1 equal to 4. 10 minus 1 equal to 11. Clear? So then this is an output. Here overloads unary operators plus plus and minus minus. Next one is overloading binary operators. Already we did here plus operator x plus y. So then operator plus, then x plus y, operand 1 and operand 2. Then there is an operator plus. Clear? We should maintain two operands and one operator. So this is the binary operator here plus. You want to apply minus operator, then operator minus. You want to product of two object values, here x asterisk y, operator asterisk. Clear? Then here also you change a into n minus n dot a, then b into n dot b. If you want to apply slash operator, division operator, x slash y, then a is equal to a by n dot a, b by n dot a. If you want to apply percentile operator, here x percentile, y. Here operator percentile, then a percentile, n dot a, b percentile, n dot b. Okay, clear? Only the operator is changed, then also expressions also we can change. Clear? If you want to subtraction operator x minus y, here operator minus, change this operator minus replaced by minus, plus is replaced by minus y. Here we want to subtract two object values. That's why here z equal to x minus y. Here operator minus, replace it. Then t dot a equal to a minus n dot a, t dot b equal to b minus n dot b. Clear, all of you? Then binary operators. Here overloading assignment operator. Then so assignment operators can be overloaded in two ways. There are implicit overloading and explicit overloading. We can overload the assignment operator in two ways. The first one is implicit overloading and second one is explicit overloading. Simply assignment operator. What is an assignment operator? Single equal to is an assignment operator in C++. Single equal to is an assignment operator. This is used to assign the right side value into left side variable. This is used to assign the right side value into left side variable, where a is equal to x plus y. First evaluate an expression x plus y, then the resultant value assign into a. Clear, all of you? Then this is the overloading operator. Simply same as your number integer a, x equal to a. So come here. So then see out a equal to a1 dot show. Then here a2 equal to a1. a2 equal to a1. Equal to is an assignment operator. But here a2 equal to, then a1 values assign into a2 memory location. Clear? A1 values assign into a2 memory location. Now a1 and a2 are the objects of the same class, that is called NUM class. Clear? A1 and A2 are the same class objects, but I want to copy the A1 values into A2 memory location. Clear? Then here equal to is an assignment operator. It can overload this method. Which method? So equal to is an assignment operator. So it can overloads this method. So here simply void show is this one integer a x equal to a. Clear, all of you? Then here implicit overloading. So then a2 equal to a1. All of you, 1 minute, 1 minute. So then I missed this statement. Here void operator equal to numb. I missed this function in the above example. Sorry. So listen. So void operator equal to numb. Num is a class name. So at this time here a1 equal to a2. A1 equal to a2. So here void operator numb. Then where x equal to b dot x, operator equal to assignment operator. Operator equal to, then b dot value assign into another variable, assignment operator, implicit and explicit operators. Then in this example, all of you, so in the assignment operator, simply this is used to assignment operators. This is used to assign from one object values to another object. Okay, this is used to assign one object values to another object. Assignment operator. There are two types of assignment operators. The first one is implicit assignment and the second one is explicit assignment. Okay, assignment operator. Assignment operator. So first example, in this example, assignment operator, come here, implicit. Then so here a2 equal to a1. This is implicit assignment. Then the second example, explicit overloading. Then this is the explicit overloading where x equal to b dot x. Clear all of you? Then implicit and explicit. A1 equal to A2. Wide show number. Simply then it can call the constructor member function in this implicit expressions. So it can call the this one constructor member function, that is called parameterized constructor member function. Here n1 n2, then a2 equal to a1. What is a1? So simply a1 means here n1 n2, a2 n1 n2 equal to n1 value assigned into n2 memory locations. Clear? This is the implicit assignment. So then the explicit assignment, we should define function overloading assignment operator, your number b, where x equal to b dot x. What is x? Here x equal to a, here x equal to b dot x. Clear? A1 of 2, A2 of 3, integer main function. Then the next one is number n1 of 2, n1 of 3. Then display a value, then display b value. Here a1 dot operator equal to a2. A1 dot operator equal to a2. Real, all of you observe. In the previous example, a1 equal a2 equal to a1, then the equal to operator overloading executed. But in this explicit operator overloading, assignment operator overloading, a1 dot operator equal to a2. So it can call this method, and at the same time it pass the a2 value, the value assigned into a1. Clear all of you? After assignment, a1 value equal to a dot show, then b value equal to a2 dot show. Clear? Then this type of calling is called explicit calling. This type of calling overloading is called explicit overloading. This type of overloading is called implicit overloading. This type of overloading is called implicit overloading. Direct a2 equal to a1. Direct, that is called implicit overloading. Here overloading assignment operators in two ways. The first one is implicit overloading, and second one is explicit overloading. Implicit overloading, then the direct object 1 equal to object 2, that is called implicit overloading. Explicit overloading, here object dot operator equal to then second object equal to second object, that is explicit. Void operator equal to number b. Here simply it can call here void operator a1 dot object 1 dot operator equal to object 2. This is called explicit assignment. At this time it passed the value a2 value to this member function. Okay, this member function, here number received the a2 value, then x equal to b dot x, b value assigned into x memory location. Clear all of you? This is the explicit conversion, explicit calling. Okay, assignment operator. Clear all of you? Then the relational operators, explain about overloading relational operators with examples. Relation operator less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, next one equal to and not equal to. These are the assignment relational operators. We are using relational operators to compare two items, which is less than, which is greater than, or which is less than or equal to, which is greater than or equal to, which is equal to. Okay, those are equal or not, both inputs are equal or not. It can compare. Comparational operators, relational operators are also known as comparational operators. Clear? The comparational operators, so in this example we can overload any of these operators which can be used to compare the objects of a class. Then arithmetic operators, binary operators, we are using binary operators. Then plus addition, so add two integers. Then subtraction, add difference between two integers. Slash is used to division, percentile is used to remainder, etc. Here also same. Here return type operator, relational operator less than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, etc. See the example here: private, public. Then distance is a constructor member function. This is also constructor member function. This is a default constructor member function. This is a parameterized constructor member function. Here void display distance, then display values. Okay, clear? Then come here. Here overload less than operator. Overload less than operator. Here bool type, return type, operator less than constant distance and ampersand d. Clear? Constant distance is a class name. D is an object of the class. Here less than. It can compare if feet less than d dot feet, then return true. Otherwise return something. Clear all of you? So this is an example of relational operator: overloaded less than operator, overloaded less than operator. Clear? Here bool return type, operator and less than. Here boolean class type or boolean either true or false. Okay. Or integer operator greater than, integer operator less than or equal to, integer operator greater than or equal to, etc. These are all the relational operators. Same in the previous examples, in arithmetic operators, binary operators plus, then unary operators plus and minus. Here relational, now we are discussing relational operators, relational operator overloading. Here simply, what are the relational operators? Less than. Then we can compare a greater than b. If it is true, return either a or true, 0. Clear? If or otherwise it returns false, 0. Clear? Then this is an relational operator overloading example program. Clear all of you? Then the next one is rules for overloading operators. Yesterday we discussed all these rules. Clear? Yesterday we discussed all the rules for operator overloading. There are 11 rules. Write and explain rules for operator overloading. 2 marks question or 4 marks question. Remember. Then the next one is, so now we want to go for another topic that is called this pointer. Okay. Here this pointer, this pointer, here this pointer. We know what is a pointer in C language. Pointer is a variable which holds the address of the, another variable. We know in C language there are two operators specially designated. Here one is for asterisk operator, another one is for ampersand operator, another one is for asterisk operator. Clear? Ampersand operator we are using, it shows an address of the variable. Asterisk operator, it pointing to the another variable. It holds the address of the another variable. Clear? Ampersand is a reference operator. Asterisk is a pointer operator. Clear? It holds the address of the another variable. A pointer variable is also a variable that holds the address of the another variable. Clear? So this pointer, simply in this C++, then there is a small new concept that is called this pointer. So this is also an address pointer. This holds the address of the present object, which holds the address of the present object. This pointer holds the address of the present object. Remember all of you, this pointer holds the or shows the address of the present object. So which is the present object? It shows this address, the object address. Here simply this pointer is a constant pointer that holds the memory address of the current object, present object or current object. This pointer is not available in static member functions. Reminder, all of you remember please. So this pointer is not available in static member functions, as static member functions can be called without any object. Static member functions can be called with class name. Remember, all of you. Clear? So simply, this pointer is used to holds the memory address of the current object or present object. This pointer is not available in static member functions. Reminder this one, not this one. Clear? So example for this pointer, your student, integer roll number, character name, then float marks, your public, student, or float marks, character number. Then here three types of variables I declared here. Student is a class name. Student is a class name. Clear? Student is a class name. Then this public section, student, how many parameters are there? Three parameters. Then here also three parameters. Okay, this is also student, this is also student. Constructor member functions. Constructor member functions we can define or declare inside the public visibility only. Don't use private visibilities. Clear? Constructor member functions we can define or declare public in the public visibility. Here student, how many parameters? Three parameters. Here student, how many parameters? Three parameters. But then three parameters, individual data types. Clear? But here which one is the first? Integer. Second one is marks. Third one is character. But here character, float and integer. Here integer, float, character. Here character, float, int. Reverse. So then come here. Here student, roll number, character and float. Student, roll number, character and float. Then three method names are same. Three member functions are same. Clear? But receiving arguments are different. So which one is first follows first method? Integer. Next one is float. Next one is character. Second one character, float, integer. Third one integer, character, float. This type of functions are called constructor member function overloading. Constructor member function overloading. Void display main function S1 student S1, where S1 is an object of the student class. Here 1, that is an integer variable. Then 89.63 float variable. Submit is a string. So which function is invoked? It can check the matchings. Which is the equal matching function is occurred, that is only executed. That is only executed. Which one is the first one? So here simple integer, float and character. Which is the first one executed? Integer, float, character. This function is matched. Okay, so it can execute this one in the first calling S1 object. Then S2 dot S2, here student S2 string, float and integer. Second method, constructor method will overload. Then student S3, third constructor function will overload. Then S1 dot display, S2 dot display and S3 dot display. Clear? All of you. Come here. So in this method, in the third method, this two roll number equal to roll number. Remember all of you. So structure variable s dot roll number equal to roll number, or structure variable here arrow mark roll number equal to roll number. We use it there in the structures and pointer variables in arrays. Clear? Here. So then you are doing data structures linked list. So header node to next equal to something. Same this one also. This operator, this is a pointer variable. This holds the which object address? Tell me. There are three objects. First one is S1, first is S2, next one is first one is S1, second one is S2, third one is S3. So it shows which object address, which is the current object. So which constructor member function is invoked? Here student S3. 3. So integer, string and float values. Clear all of you? So this pointer holds the S3 address only. Remember, this is the current object. This is the current object. That's why this pointer holds the current object, that is S3 object address. Clear? Here this means S3 dot roll number equal to roll number. Then S3 dot name. S3 dot marks equal to marks. That is the meaning. Remember? Okay, all of you note it. So this to roll number equal to roll number. This is a pointer variable. Remember. So this holds the address of the present or current object. Which is the current object? S3 is the current object. So it holds the simply here roll number SN into the S3 dot object. Then name is copied into S3 dot object. Then marks is copied into S3 dot object. That is the meaning. Clear, all of you understand? This pointer is used in C++. This pointer is used in C++. This is a pointer variable. It holds the address of the current object. That is the definition. 2 marks question. So write and explain this pointer. What is this? Explain with an example. This is a pointer variable in C++. It holds the address of the current object or present object. Clear? All of you? Yes, this is the this operator. Okay, all of you. Then this operator shows the address of the current object. Clear? S3. Then display first object values, display second object values, and display third object values. To display all 3 object values. Clear, all of you? So this pointer, this is a pointer variable. This is a pointer variable. This is a pointer variable. It holds the address of the current object. Then how many objects in this example? Here student S1, this is a constructor member function. These parameters sent to the first constructor member function. Why? This is occurred, first constructor member match is occurred. Then their integer, first one integer, second one is float, third one is string. That's why the first constructor member function will invoke S1. So this one is the first constructor member function, integer, float, and character. Clear? This is invoked first one, S1 object. Then S2 object calling, then this constructor member function invokes. Then S3 object, this member function invokes. Then here I used this operator. This operator is a pointer variable. This holds the address of the S3 object address, current object address. Which is the current object? S3 is the current object. Clear, all of you? This operator. This is 2 marks question, guaranteed question in externals. Write and explain this operator or this pointer. Clear, all of you? This is the example for this operator. And next one is type conversion. We know type conversions. So then here simply type conversions in C language or C++ type conversion. So this is used to convert from one variable to one here lower variables to higher variables. How to convert the type conversions? Examples where x equal to, for example here integer x, okay, integer x, then where x equal to, for example here 10 by here float not x, here float y equal to here float y equal to here float of here 10 by 3. This is the example for type conversion. So what is 10? Integer value. What is 3? Integer value. But I want to get an exact float value, so we should write like this. Here these two are the integers. X equal to 10, comma, then y equal to 3, then y equal to 3, then here x by y, x by y. Remember all of you. Then y equal to, what is a y? Y is a float variable. Then what is the value of x? 10. What is the value of y? 3. Here 10 by 3. I didn't use this one simply. So here now this is also integer y. Then here x by y equal to, what is an output? So now y is an integer variable. Here x by y, what is an output? X value is 10, y value is 3. It returns 3. Clear all of you? But in originally, what we will get? Here 10.333 something. But integer y, it will not take the after decimal point values. Decimal point values. X by y equal to, here 10 by 3 equal to 3. It returns, it assign 3. Now y value equal to 3. But I want to get an exact float value. Y should be defined in float. Then float y equal to x by, here float of x by y. Then x is an integer variable and also y is an integer variable. Here temporarily convert into float. These variables temporarily convert into float. Remember all of you. Now x value equal to, so up to this expression. X value and y values are float values. Here float value by float value, it returns float value. Clear? Now y value equal to 10.333 something. So then this is called type conversion. This is called type conversion. Clear? So temporarily from integer to float, I convert temporarily integer to float. Clear all of you? This is called typecasting. This is called typecasting. So then we will get an exact float value 3.333 something. Clear? This is called typecasting. So in C++ also introduce type conversion. In C++ also introduce type conversions. Clear? There are 3 types of type conversions. All of you. In C language already we learned. Here if temporarily convert into one data type, from one data type to another data type. So the first data type simply, then there is a condition. Here we can convert from lower data type to higher data type, but higher to lower we cannot convert. Remember all of you. In C language, that is type conversion. So then there is a condition. We convert from lower to higher. Lower means integer occupies 2 bytes, but float occupies 4 bytes. Then integer convert into float. But float cannot convert into integer. Why? Here float occupies 4 bytes memory. That's why it cannot convert. Here 4 bytes memory value we can assign into 2 bytes memory location. Is it possible? No. Clear? So then, see in this same thing here also. Same. Here type conversions in C++. Type conversion in C++. Here then there are 3 ways we can convert the data types. First one here, class object to general variables. General variables to class objects. Okay. Then conversion from one class type to another class type. One class type to another class type. We can convert the 3 ways. Clear? 3 ways. The first one, conversion from basic type to class type. Basic type integer, float, etc. to class type. Class type means object. Convert from class type to basic type. Class variables, object variables convert into general variables. Then conversion from one class variable to another class variable. Type conversions. Tomorrow we will discuss type conversions and friend functions in C++. Clear? Type conversions and friend functions in C++ tomorrow we will discuss. Okay, all of you. Then, so today only this pointer we discussed. This is a pointer variable which holds the address of the present or current object. Clear, address of the current object. Okay, tomorrow we will discuss type conversions and friend functions. Okay, all of you. Okay, bye.